Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you're watching, and welcome back to Indian Racing League. This is the season finale for Division 1. We had a great rounds, 9 rounds so far, and this is the final round of Season 4. Constructors and Drivers' Championships both decided, but it should be a fun race around the Paul Ricard circuit in France. And like last week, this time I have the very beloved, I would say, Teves in the comms box. Teves, hello, how are you doing? And how did you like the qualifying session we had in Austria?
I'm good, and it's an interesting qualifying. Like honestly, it just feels like it's so. What like the biggest thought, the biggest takeaway I had was Hamilton and making mistakes. That is something we haven't seen
We
in a
don't see that
while.
often, do we?
We don't see that often, and he's feeling that pressure of Red Bulls just got to stop getting cocky and just focus on beating them on track and stop playing the mind games and just keep putting the pressure, because we've seen it time again, Mercedes bouncing back from slumps. They haven't been so prolonged where they've lost 3 races in a row, but yeah, it's a start. One can only hope. One can only hope. And honestly, the biggest takeaway was, I think, what Ben Daly. I can't get his YouTube name right, but he tweeted where
Yeah, Tiamat Marto.
Hamilton.
That's
Yep,
his. Yeah.
that's his YouTube name. Yeah, so he tweeted on Hamilton's second lap, again, that brings back that whole Hamilton being under pressure, where in the time that Red Bull and all the other drivers in Q3, did 1 lap, Hamilton did 2 laps, and he was still slower. So yeah, but
Right.
he tweeted, that if Hamilton had been driving the in F1 2020, he would have invalidated his laps like lap 4 times already. So I think that's one thing that people don't realize is something that we have to deal with in the game is our track limits is much stricter than what these
Yeah, yeah,
F1 drivers
absolutely.
get away with.
I totally agree with you. And speaking about track limits, this is a track, Teves, which is. I think it's a little bit notorious, especially Sector 1 for track limits. It's really hard
It's
to keep it
abs
within the white lines. So just talk me through how you like this track in general.
on
And
honestly, like track limits on this track is so weird. Like honestly, throughout the whole week, as you guys know, I drive in D2. I drive in D2. Practice for the D2 throughout the week. Whatever races I did, I was literally doing like 2 races a day for practice against AI.
wow,
On
that's a lot
average,
of practice.
I'm slow. I need to pick up pace somewhere or the other. But on average, I was getting 11 seconds to 15 seconds of penalties just because of track limits
Oof, that's a
and
lot.
nothing else.
But good race from
And
you yesterday. You almost scored your first points of the season, and I think you
yes,
got only 3 seconds of time penalties, if I'm not wrong.
I
So
only
that's
I only got 3 seconds of time penalties. I got my pit entry perfect, and honestly, I went easy towards the end, and easy when I say I didn't fight Ace when he was overtaking me as
hmm
much because I was on the comms with the other drivers, and there's that incident with Shah.
yeah.
So I haven't seen it. I don't know what the
Oh
incident
yeah, yeah.
is,
Good thinking, teams. You're
but
thinking long term. It could be if the stewards weigh in on that incident and decide to give Ace a penalty, you could jump up a place and earn your first point. So
And
very
funny
smart.
enough, I could have even jumped Ace even by letting him pass, because even when he passed me, I was still within 8 tenths to a second of
Yeah, I
him.
think your gap at the end of the race was just about 1 second to Ace.
Yeah, and he was
Uh,
on the softs and he was on the softs and I was on the hards. Okay,
yeah,
and
maybe Soft just gave
that
up.
surprised. That just surprised me, because I still had that pace where I kept. He obviously pushed, and he was setting much faster lap times than me, but I was keeping up with him. But what thing was literally like two corner, like first sector of the last lap is where I got my third strike and I got my penalty.
hmm
And if I just managed to keep it within the white lines, I could have on track, or I mean on track as in the final results, without waiting on this potential whatever stewards report about his incident. without waiting on that, I could have jumped him for my first points.
Right,
So,
there's always Hungary for that. The drivers have readied up, so we should be underway for the short qualifying pretty soon. It has been a good season so far for the Williams boys, winning the
yes.
constructors as well as Caesar winning the drivers' championship. We started in Monza where Caesar won. So in fact, the first 4 races where he won, which was Monza, Australia, Spain, and Hungary, as well as Russia. So there was 5 wins in a row for Caesar. Belgium was the race where his teammate Ashwin Lakhwani won. Austria was VFix because of a 5-second penalty for Caesar and the late safety car. In Netherlands as well as Silverstone, Caesar back to his winning race, and now in France, let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a super interesting one. Hopefully the lobby holds up. I don't want to jinx it. I know commentators curse and all, but I don't want to jinx it. But I honestly hope that it just holds up. And I'm still waiting on Caesar to do his last to first as he promised.
No, I think he's going. Yeah, I
which
think
he says
he's
he didn't promise, but we all know he promised us that. We need more entertainment.
Well, I think he's gonna qualify. I think I asked him last night after the D2 commentary, and he did say that he will try to qualify as high as possible. So we all know he's going to be on the front row anyway. It is a very overcast, Paul Ricard. I can see on my screen right now. I think you can as well.
Yes, yes.
I don't think it's raining, but do we see any rain later on in the session? I'm not entirely sure.
And the fastest driver is here in chat.
Yeah.
Fastest driver, could you please tell us what the weather situation is, because we don't know.
I don't think he will let us know that until we actually. Sid Venkatesh is saying it's going to rain in the race. I don't think Sid is in the. Oh, he is. Oh, okay. He is in the Red Bull, I think, tonight, reserving.
Yes, obviously. You know, Sid drives every chance he gets.
Yeah,
every chance he gets.
And one person who would be very happy to get a seat is Quick Killer. He was not quite happy that the seats were being given away to other drivers in Division 2, but finally he has got a seat. Let's see which car he is, and I'm not entirely sure. Is that another Red Bull? I'm not sure. I don't think it's a Red Bull.
But yeah, let's. So far, as we can see, everyone is on the softs except for 2 drivers. One of the Mercedes and Ishan in the Renault. So
right, Husrav in the Mercedes, he is. So we have plenty of new names here right now. Lost Crisp in the Haas is a new driver. I think this is going to be his first race for IRL. Same goes for Husrav, who I've heard is very, very fast. So let's keep an eye out on him as well. Rain is good in the race. I've been praying, and finally, the F1 gods or the Codemasters, the overlords and Ghostmasters have finally blessed us with some rain, especially for Division 1, because I don't think it has rained at all this season for Division 1.
I don't know, it hasn't rained for Division 2 either. We've only had a wet quali session in the Netherlands.
No rain at all in any race?
I don't think so. I missed 2 races, so I don't know about those races, but as far as I remember, there's been no rain. But if the weather is if there is rain for the race, why won't Lost Crisp, Hashraf and Ishan?
It depends on when it's going to rain. It depends if it's the start of the race or towards the end of the race, or it depends. I'm riding on board, not on board, but I'm following Shadow Sword right now, who's going to be the first person to start his hot lap. So let's ride on board with him, and he almost loses it at the exit of the final corner, and he reserved for Division 2 last night. Teves, you might remember, he took pole.
Yes.
Let's see what kind of lap times he does right now as he approaches turn 1. That's nicely done at the apex, and is not pushing that hard right now. Probably just trying to put a lap banker in before he pushes for a lap, which is quite competitive. And the next few corners are taken well into the second gear. Will short shift to the third and the fourth before he has to lift off again, and then now it's a long straight before he picks his next braking point. Let's see how he goes. Behind him I can see a lot of cars starting their hot laps, so this should be a lot of lap times on the board right now as he brakes nice and early for the chicane, and seems quite gentle with his car right now. While I'm sure it's a fast time, but looking on board, it doesn't seem like he is actually pushing that hard.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't,
I'm not
right?
used to
But
seeing this. I'm not used to this camera view, but yeah, it doesn't seem. He is going a little. It did feel very understeery over there.
yeah, that double apex right-hander did feel a little understeery, but
Yeah, it does.
nevertheless, I think he's going to.
I think his setup is more understeery. Is a much more understeery setup.
Maybe he's
Because
just looking for that straight line speed. Rounds of the final corner now. This time, nice and easy on the exit, unlike his. Okay, so he
Backing
just
off.
he backed off at the end.
Backed off. But a 28.9, but a 28.9, that's much
The
faster than
racing
what
points
I said.
running very close to each other, and Arjun Anusha
Yeah,
will get some.
I was going to comment about that. When they were starting the hot laps, there was actually a yellow flag in sector 3, and that was because everyone had backed up a bit.
Yeah,
We believe there's rain in the race, Azun, but we don't know when in the race.
yeah, it's possible that it will rain in the race. Ashwin Lakhwani, meanwhile,
Shadow Sword is driving off the track so that people. But we have a disconnection. We have a
Hushrav
disconnection.
has left the session. Teeves, can you send him a spare invite if he doesn't have one? I'm not sure if he has an invite. So
Yes.
can you just it's Hushrav, Hushrav, and then F1. Even if he's not in his friend list, Ashwin Lakhwani puts a 30.1. That's not competitive.
But something these drivers need to be careful of is driving off the track. It could give them a penalty, which happened to my teammate last night.
Did he get a penalty, Jin?
Yes, he didn't get a penalty, but his 2 laps were invalidated.
Oh, right.
His last 2 laps were invalidated because he was giving way to faster drivers by being off the track, and yeah. And
PSI Legends. What happened to PSI? Isn't the okay? Yeah, PSI is actually serving a quali ban, so that makes sense. He's retired in the pits. Is not going out on a lap right now. Lost Crisp, meanwhile, the debutant, is on a lap, and he's on the medium, so he's feeling confident about his.
But Hashraf, who I can still see in the lobby, did set a 129.1 on the mediums, which is actually very, very, very competitive.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and watch what kind of lap times others do. Lost Crisp is now across the line in the Haas, and he goes P10 with a 31.4. So I don't think that lap time will start.
Sid V, who's a very fast driver, also 129.1 with the soft. So either Sid backed off or Hashraf is really fast with those mediums.
Yeah, Hashraf is a fast driver, we have heard. Ishan, meanwhile, the driver who has moved from D2 to D1, is now starting a hot lap, and let's go through this lap in its entirety without any distractions on the timing screen. Oh, I think, is that an invalidation? Yeah, it is. And Ishan will have to go again. This lap time will not be counted. Not Sume, meanwhile, our race winner from last night in Division 2, has put in lap time of 29.8, and it's on 2 laps old soft tires. So I think he would be hoping to go even faster on his second run so that he can start on fresh tires at the start of the race. Meanwhile, Serial Killer up into P5. That's a good lap from him, 29.3. Let's see if someone is on a lap. Is Vicky on a lap right now? I think he just started one, and that is as much liberty as he can take. And just when I was saying that, he has invalidated his lap time. Is Ishan going again? Not entirely sure. Quick Killer is going again, and Quick Killer apparently has put in the purple sector for.
Ishan is harvesting energy, so yes, I'm guessing. But he is low on fuel, so he might have to.
He might have to pit again. He might have to pit right now. Quick Kill on a lap, meanwhile, and I think he put the fastest first sector of anyone so far in the session. So in that Red Bull, let's see. So we have basically Red Bull teammates, both of whom are Division 2 drivers reserving tonight for Division 1, and good to see 19 drivers in. That's a good turnout for the last race of the season. Quick Killer on a lap right now. We're riding on board with him, and I don't know if it's just me or if everyone's cars seem a little understeery right now. They are not able to pinch the apex, but nevertheless, this has been a decent lap so far. Up ahead, Phantom is going to start his first lap of the session. Quick Killer is going to get a bit of a slipstream from him. Quick Killer across the line, and what a lap that is! He puts him P5. That's a good lap. So both the Division 2 reserves doing quite well. And for Phantom, who was just starting his lap, let's see how this one progresses for the rest of the few corners. It is dizzy looking at this circuit, especially the aerial views.
It's so dizzy. that is why I'm sticking to cockpit, the broadcast view.
Right, Phantom looked like he had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 6. Let's see if I'm not sure if that was a glitch or was it something else. Caesar meanwhile still in the pits, not coming out. This is his final race in Indian Racing League as a full-time driver for some time at least. He's going to take a sabbatical and focus on other things in his life while he's still going to be around. But what a 4 seasons he has had, and let's hope that he is around and continues to interact with us and bring us more competition and more racers to race with in the upcoming seasons. Phantom on a lap on the medium, so we are seeing a lot of medium runners so far. Ashwin Lakhwani is also out on let's see what lap is he on. Yeah, he's on a set of soft tires. Phantom goes P10 with that time 30.4. I'm not sure that time will hold once the checkered flag is out, so he might have to go again. Ashwin is starting his lap. Yes, Steve? Yeah, Steve?
But yeah, what Jin says in the chat is possibly true. What these guys must be running is 2.7 wings, giving them that straight line speed, but then losing that control and stability in the corners.
Yeah, it could be possible. I don't know. I was just on board with a few of these drivers, and it looked like that the cars were a little understeery. Meanwhile,
yeah,
Ashwin Lakhwani on the lap right now, and this is one of those drivers who could be contending for a pole position here tonight. He has a car in front of him that's lost grip, moving nicely out of the way. I don't think that would have caused Ashwin much trouble, and now he has to pick his braking point for the next chicane. I think there are about more than 200 layouts on this track, Tews. That's something which I just read a few days back.
Yeah, there is something like that. I'm pretty sure all 200, except for this year, all 200 races around all 200 will be boring, except for this year, which turned out to be surprisingly not boring. But also, I just noticed something. Ashwin's not using his ERS at all.
Oh, has he done it again? Has he just put a purple second sector?
And he's not using ERS.
Is he just playing mind games right now?
Because I can see
that. Yeah, I can see that as well. He's not using his ERS at all. Oh my God, what is this guy doing?
I think he used DRS only in the first sector because going down the DRS straight he had what 98%.
Is he doing a bit of R&D? He stays in P9 with a 29 point. Is he now going for a lap? He's not going for a lap right now either. Not entirely sure what happened there.
I think he's going to back off. And
I don't think he can go again. Caesar is in the third sector, finishing off his lap, and unlike his teammate, he is using ERS. Let's see where this lap puts him. Arjun Ravi is on provisional pole with a 28.6. Just two people in the 28s right now. Caesar could be the third one in the 28s. 6 to the left of the racetrack, and across the line he goes into 28.665 on the mediums.
That is close.
That's quite close, and I'm not entirely sure whether he will want to go for another run. This is a pretty good lap time, and on those mediums it gives him a strategy advantage as well, as we saw last night. Starting on the hards, you have to pit early and you have to go on probably hard tires if you want to make a one-stop work.
Yes, starting on the mediums, you pit around what, lap 11, lap 12, and then you can finish the race off on those hards.
Right, Racing Gupta on a lap right now, and That pace is surprising from him. He's usually quite up ahead of the other people, and let's
I
see.
think
He
Caesar
is.
backed off in the first sector, but he is pushing in sector 2 and 3 now because he's using up his DRS. He is using DRS and he is pushing. I do not see what his delta to his previous time was. As Quick Killer goes off the track to give him way. Caesar's setup is much more stable than everyone else's.
Here is Racing Gupta across the line, and that's more like it. The 29.1 on the mediums. That's quite impressive pace from the Racing Point. His teammate down in P10.
And Caesar goes into the pits.
Caesar in the
Caesar's
pits.
in the
Yeah.
pits.
Okay. So let's see if he comes out again. And try to set another lap time in. Let's pick someone who's.
Quick Killer is on starting a hot lap, so let's see Quick Killer for a minute.
Yeah, let's do that. Quick Killer
A
is.
minute and 20 seconds, 29 seconds to be specific.
It could be 28. You
But
never know. Here
it
goes
could be
Quick Killer.
28.
If he gains 3 times, he will be in the 28s. But it's pretty close in terms of lap time right now, especially at the top. Let's quickly look at the gap. And you can see, yeah, the top 10, top 11 rather.
Oh, and he
top 12.
almost off the track. Taking enough curb, not going too far wide, that is good. Activates DRS. He's already used 30% of his ERS. Nice, clean. Okay, little understeery there. Had to be careful on getting back on the throttle. But so far, I don't. Again, he's 5/10 faster than his previous lap time. So
Yeah,
he could
he
be
is 5 times faster, and
he could be looking at 28, but a little understeery, felt a little jerky over there. But let's see if he holds it together. More understeer, running wide, but he doesn't invalidate. He's still on the track within the white lines. Finally manages to clip the apex, clips the apex again, and now long sticks to the left side of the track. No, switching back to the right.
he just moved to the right there, Quick Killer. But I think this is going to be a good lap. It is.
Yes,
It's just within.
28-7 on the softs.
That's a really good lap from Quick Killer. So the Division 2 reserves are doing pretty well right now in Division 1. Caesar in the pits. Yeah, I think that's his quali over. He cannot. I don't think he can make it out right now.
A Quick Killer needs to be careful now, cutting corners like that. But okay, let's see who is. Let's see Arjun.
Sid
Shah.
Venkatesh. Yeah, Arjun is on an out lap. Sid
He's
Venkatesh
on an
on
out lap.
Yeah, Sid Venkatesh on an hot lap right now, and I think he was 4 tenths up on his previous time. So this could be a good lap as well from Sid Venkatesh, who could be another driver in the 28s. Oh, Caesar has retired from the session. Yeah, that's in the pits. I think he's happy with his time.
He's happy with his time.
Yeah, let's see what Sid Venkatesh does when he crosses the second sector split. He's not up by much. He's on the mediums.
He's lost time from his first sector.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of time. The advantage which he had
time.
in the first sector, that's almost evaporated. And let's see how he goes on in the final sector.
His setup does feel a lot more stable over here. He's managing to clip the apexes much earlier than everyone else.
Yeah, I was riding on board briefly with Ashwin, who has gone 5 tenths up. That's a good improvement, but he will have to nail the second and the third sector because he's far off from the pace we usually see from the Williams driver so far. Now,
okay, Venkatesh lost like 4 tenths in the last sector, so
yeah, did
that
he improve?
wasn't the best. No, he did not.
Right, Ashwin, his advantage now is just less than 4 tenths. Let's see what happens. And Jin gets a very good point. Both Ferraris starting from the back, and I think Kanav had a qualifying ban. I know for sure. VFix, I think, is trying our last to question mark challenge.
What is VFix? Is VFix actually going to do last to first? Is he actually going to give us that?
Well, I call it last to question mark. I don't call it last to first. But here we go.
Jin
Ashwin
the Bono.
now.
Jin, VFX is Bono. Please tell us. Please tell us. Is that what he's trying? And Ashwin improves and moves up to 7th. 29 flat. Okay, it's like 7/1000ths of a second. Yes, he's doing last to whatever. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Vifix and Kanov outside, starting in the back of the grid. They're going to have free tire choice. What do you think the Vifix is going to do? Mediums to hards or hards to mediums?
Well, it depends.
Like Jin did yesterday. I know Vifix says he's faster than Jin and he doesn't choke like Jin, but let's see what Vifix does. This is going to be an interesting one.
Good lap from Arjun. Meanwhile, puts him P5. Is Phantom on a lap still? He probably was, but he has finished and he stays in P14. I think that's our qualifying grid. Utkarsh, what a lap from him. I completely missed that. What a lap from Utkarsh in the Mercedes. He has out-qualified.
Okay, so Jin has given a specificity. There is rain towards the end of the race.
Yeah, rain towards the end. And
so, hard tire strat is looking good.
It is. Maybe he can stretch those hards until he has to make a pit stop for the wet tires. That could be something. Shadow Sword, meanwhile, 2 nights in a row, he's on pole position. And he would be hoping to have some learnings from the error, if I may call it, last night. But here's the grid in front of you. Shadow Sword and Arjun S. Ravi are on the front row. Utkarsh, a surprise qualifying from him in P3, with Caesar lining up in P4.
If I may, I don't think he has. I don't think he has, because he did the same thing yesterday, where he qualified on the softs.
Right.
He did the same thing yesterday.
Yeah, but then let's see what he pits on. Arjun Shah in P5, Quick Killer in P6. Natsume in P7, Ashwin with a surprise qualifying position in P8, Hushrav in P9, Racing Gupta P10, Sid Venkatesh, he will have free try choice, and everyone below him in P11, Ishan in P12, Serial Killer and Phantom in P13, P14, Vicky in P15, and the Haas of Lost Crisp on his IRL debut in P16. 3 people did not put a lap time in. PSI Legends in P17, he had a qualifying ban. VFix doing a last to whatever challenge, as we want to call it, in P18, and his teammate Kana had a qualifying ban as well in the P19. So Ferrari's charging from the back. I will take a water break for about 10-15 seconds. Steve, you can carry on, and I'll join you for the formation lap.
Yep, okay. So my podium predictions for this race. Okay. Change quality of stream. I can't do that, Sid. My podium expectations. Okay. Caesar to finish first. Vifix potentially third. Potentially. Possibly second. I think he does have the pace. He does have the pace to get to second or third. And I don't know. I said saying Ashwin taking the last podium is too obvious, but I think Shadow Sword is gonna fill the podium. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna be wrong. I definitely could be wrong, but yeah. Anyway, we are away on the formation lap. Yes, Suraj, you can laugh at me being wrong.
Yeah, Tews, can you hear me?
Please. Yes, I can hear you. But yeah, we are way on the formation lap. Wait, there is a glitch in the lobby.
What is the glitch?
It shows for Miami, it shows Shadow Sword as first, Arjun Ravi second, Utkarsh third, Caesar fourth.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Oh, that's how. Oh, I thought Caesar finished second.
No, Arjun S. Ravi and Utkarsh did out-qualify him, so...
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm slow. I'm wrong, as always. Sorry. I messed up. Please do not hold it against me.
Right, in terms of tire choices, Sid Venkatesh on the hards, learning from Jinsanity, Vicky on the hards as well, PSI Legends, VFix and Kano. So a lot of hard runners, 5 to be precise in the bottom 10. Can see in the top 10 we have 5 soft runners and 5 medium runners, so this is a mixed bag in terms of tire choices, and this is going to be a good start. And let's see if the likes of Arjun Shah and Quick Killer can make an impression on those soft tires, especially running into turn 1 and maybe in the first few laps of the race.
Yes, Suraj, Utkarsh versus Caesar is going to be super interesting. I can agree with that statement.
Yeah, let's see how these two get on.
But Kanav does keep up his Kanav does keep up his thing of starting on the hards.
Yeah,
When starting
absolutely.
outside the top
If
10.
Kanav doesn't start on hards, there's something wrong with the world today. But Kanav on the hards, potential driver of the day drive, we'll have to wait and see, especially because his teammate is down there with him as well. Let's see in the final sector, the drivers are and hoping to get the optimum temperatures in their tires before they line up on the grid.
See, this doesn't tell us tire wear, but do you remember how many laps Shadow Sword did on his softs?
I think it was just
was
the
it
one
one
lap. I think it
Was
was
it
just
just
the
the
one
one?
lap because I think he put that lap in towards the end of the session. So
Okay.
I think all the soft runners as well as the medium runners probably are on just one lap old tires. When I say one lap old, I mean just one hot lap on those tires. As
One hot lap, yes,
yeah,
yes.
the
yes.
drivers are lining up on the grid, and I think we should be underway pretty soon. Teams, do you want to take us through the start?
I will leave that to you. You're a professional. You're the professional.
I'm
You do
hardly
it.
a professional, but yeah, let's do it. I'm not seeing the lights on the screen so far. Yeah, there it is. 3, 4, 5 lights on the grid. It's a long hold, lights out, and we're underway. It's a good start from Arjun Ravi on those medium tires. He might challenge. Behind, Utkarsh has had a good start as well. Let's see if Arjun can take the lead going into turn 1. He does. And further behind, Caesar is getting challenged. There's a Red Bull probably glitched somewhere. But it's Arjun Shah in P5. Quick Killer has probably glitched out or lagged out again. It shows him in P14, which is not accurate, but in terms of positions gained,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
have to
showing.
wait
It's
and watch.
reshuffling. It's reshuffling for me. But yeah, Caesar actually had a very good start, and he nearly did get Utkarsh into turn 1, turn 2, but then he backed off to give both of them save their wings, which is the right thing to do, because damage right now would completely ruin Utkarsh's race. Caesar could still get
Right,
away
someone who
with it.
has gained some positions is serial killer of the start. He's gained 3 positions. Hushrav has gained 2. Ashwin staying in P8, and the top 2 swapping places. So Arjun Ravi is leading the race, and
But it does show Venkatesh. It shows Sid Venkatesh is last for me, which is, I don't know what happened to him. Kanav had a very good start. He's already up to
Quick Killer! I
30.
was just on board with Hushrav, and Quick Killer losing it at one of the corners, and that has caused damage to Hushrav. Ishan.
Oh, I just saw it on stream. And that is the front end plate of the Mercedes gone. He'll have to pit.
Yeah, he will have to pit. I see 3 people in the pits. Quick Killer, I know. Vicky is in the pits as well.
He's in the pit
did not-
and Husraf. But honestly, from what I saw, I think Husraf might get a penalty post-race, because I don't think he took, it was a late dive into the pit, and I don't think he took the right entry.
Right, we'll have to wait
Again.
and watch. Arjun and Shah meanwhile challenging Caesar, and what a start it has been from Kanav.
Husraf has changed to the hards, Vicky to the mediums, and Quick Color to the mediums as well. But Kanav has had a blistering start. He's already up to 11th. Vifix, not so much.
Vfix is in P15, still has gained 3 places,
He's gained 3 places, but then it's 4 people who have lost places because of incidents and pitting.
heading on board with the fire driver right now. You can see up ahead Natsume making a place on Lord's Crisp. So Natsume gaining a position and is up into P15, and let's see if VFix can follow suit as well. What's happening further up ahead? Racing Gupta and Serial Killer going side by side, and there's more battling going on, and the Racing Point stays in front for right now. PSL Legends retired on the session. Is that a safety car? It is. And let's see what the top runners do now. Arjun Ravi straight away in the pits and takes a very, very cautious. Utkarsh has been disqualified. What?
Blocking the pit lane.
Where is Utkarsh car right now? He is. Sid Venkatesh has a drive through. It's all happening here right now.
Oh, this. What just happened to Utkarsh? He was doing very well.
He was doing very well indeed. I think he was running P3, which was his starter.
Could he potentially have been disqualified, like as it said, blocking the pit entry? Could he have slowed down too much because of, as you said, Arjun taking cautious entry into the pit?
I'm not sure. I was on board with Arjun, so I did not get a good view of that. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but that's very strange. That's not something we see often.
And I don't have access to the D1 lobby, so I can't see what Utkarsh's comments are.
Well, let me just have a look if he's putting anything there. But what bad luck he has had. He has had a lot of bad luck this season, has Utkarsh.
But this does make it harder for the people on two stops. It does make it harder.
Shadow Sword is staying out, and you can see, except for him, everyone else is on either the medium or the hard touch. You can see a lot of medium runners, but you can see.
See, I think because of how early this safety car is, I could be wrong again, as usual. I will keep prefacing that, but I think because of how early the safety car is, Shadow Sword not pitting is the right choice.
Let's see, maybe if he thinks the rain is not that late into the race, he can maybe go on a set of mediums instead of the hards and stretch it to the inters period.
But depending on what lap the race is, right?
The rain is, yeah.
If the rain is, sorry, not the race. The rain is, like, if Vifix thinks that the hards can get him till the rain part and then he can just switch to whatever rain tire is required, that means it's going to go a lot deeper into the race, and the mediums not pitting on for the mediums on lap 2 is not going to get you to that position. So I think Shadow Sword sticking to his strategy could actually work out now.
It is possible, and quite unfortunate for the McLaren, as one McLaren is out of the race. I did not catch that incident. Did you, teams? Because it seemed like a crash.
I did not. I was just on board with Vifix when that happened.
Right. Okay. Talking about Vifix, he has again gained a couple of places because of those pit stops, and he has the likes of Arjun S. Ravi, Arjun Arun Shah, Hushrav behind him, as well as Quick Killer, I think. So Sid Venkatesh having a drive through, that's the only penalty I see on screen right now, and he'll have to serve it after the safety car comes into the pits, which could be this lap. It's possible because the gap has more or less punched up, and the last car is Vicky, who will be on the back of Quick Killer in just a matter of time.
So Venkatesh's penalty is obviously for speeding under the safety car.
Yeah, it is for speeding.
PSI's is terminal damage, and I did not catch where he had his incident.
So that incident was near the flat out right hander after the chicane.
Okay.
So
he could have understeered and lost control of his...
Yeah, it is possible. It has happened to me once. I was trying to go side by side with a driver, and I understeered massively and hit a wall which is like a kilometer away, but it still happened. So that's something.
What could be, sorry for interrupting you, but what could be a possibility is the fact that they're running lower wings. They would not... Following cars is going to be harder. If he was running lower wings.
It is going to be harder.
So that could have...
Especially on heavy fuel.
Especially on heavy fuel, so following a car on that flat out right-hander could have made him, like, in that dirty air, could have made him lose control of his car, hence the incident. So
yeah, it is that corner where the drivers are right now, and I think I saw a position swap between Ishan and Serial Killer. I'm not entirely sure, but I did see the positions getting changed. So safety car is in this lap, so the drivers are now preparing for going racing again, and Caesar in all that has Ashwin in P3 rather.
P3.
So that's something which I missed as well. So both the Williams will be on the back of the Haas very, very soon, and let's see if Shadow Sword has already gone. No, I think he's not. He's waiting. It's still early days, and he's waiting for the safety car to peel in, after which he will control. Yeah.
Shadow Sword really has 4 laps. Not even 5 laps, 4 laps, 3 laps to 4 laps to really take advantage of his soft tires. Because according to strategy, if I'm not mistaken, soft tire strategy means spitting on lap 8, but Caesar is already going for it, and he's alongside, and is he going to be... Yes, he leads the race into turn 1. Caesar just took off.
Yeah, he did. He caught Shadow Sword napping there, used a lot of his battery and is into P1 already with his teammate also charging him. Ishan and Racing Group side by side. Ishan is making a place as well, so Racing Group lost a place there. And let's see if Phantom can take advantage of this. Meanwhile, up ahead, it is Ashwin who's on the move. And Ashwin also might overtake Shadow Sword here. Ashwin has to choose the outside line because Shadow Sword is defending on the inside. Let's see who breaks later. I think Ashwin will have this done and dusted. Yeah, he is. He is up ahead. So it's a Williams 1-2 again. And further behind, it's Phantom on the back of Racing Gupta. And Phantom has to stay behind for now.
Racing Gupta is starting to lose ground. He just lost a position to Ishan. Phantom's now pushing him and right there on his tail. And honestly, I just went through checking everyone's ERS at the beginning of Sector 1 towards the end of Sector 1. Lost Crisps was the only one who was really I don't think preserved any ERS under the safety car. Everyone was at 80%, 90%. He was at 60%, 70%. So yeah, I don't think Lost Crisp is preserving ERS at all, or he was just burning off his ERS as they started that lap.
Right, Sid Venkatesh is in the pits for his drive-through, and further up ahead, Phantom still behind Racing Gupta now charging as well. Arjun S. Ravi on the back of VFix. Let's see how that one develops because he has a very fast.
More importantly, Serial Killer is catching Shadow Sword now. And so is Ishan and that whole group. Is Shadow Sword's dropping?
He is dropping because I think this is the time where I don't think the softs last more than 6-7 laps, especially those.
And there's an incident!
Oh! Serial Killer, I just saw that and he's out of the session. There's a yellow flag. And
I don't think it's going to be a safety car, but yeah,
I
don't know what
that's more contact. Arjun S. Ravi, so both the Arjuns colliding. Arjun S. Ravi and Arjun Arun Shah. There's a safety car again.
A safety car again.
Yeah, and I'm sure Shadow Sword is going to. So was it an incident between Shadow Sword and Serial Killer? I'm pretty sure it was. Otherwise, Shadow Sword.
That was an incident from Shadow Sword and Serial Killer because from what I saw, I was on board with Serial Killer and he went for the move down the inside and Shadow Sword collided with him. I'm not speculating. I'm not going to speculate, but that is what I saw.
Right.
So that's definitely going to be an incident. That's definitely going to be an incident that's going to be investigated after the race, of course. I don't know if Shadow Sword has any damage.
He's still staying out.
He's staying out, and yeah, no damage. He
has no damage. That's fine. But why is he still staying out? Well, it has gotten overcast. You can see that it has gotten overcast, so maybe Shadow thinks he can stretch these soft tires until the rain comes.
But realistically, I don't think he can because considering in 4 laps, he has lost 8 positions.
It's a tough one to call. Arjun Arun in the pits, he's going on the softs, but Arjun I think had damage. That's why. But I think the rain is not far away, teams. I think that's the only explanation why Arjun has gone on softs as well. That is the only explanation I have. I think the rain is not going to be towards the end of the race. It's probably going to come in the next, I don't know, 5-6 laps. You can see it's very overcast right now. If you ride on board with the driver, and you can see the clouds, it is quite overcast. And
we're being told rain in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense why Shadow Sword is going. I think he's going to stay out. He's going to stick it out on these worn tires.
But he risks even with the warm tires. He's not going to get to pit. Logically, pitting too early to go to intermediates or wets will ruin his tires. Thank you, Nishan.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing. But see, the thing is, I mean, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here.
He's going to be on super worn out soft tires, so he's not going to have any. He's not going to have any grip on very light rain track for 1 or 2 laps. So he is literally, he's got nothing. He's literally.
Well, let's not be too early to judge. Depends how fast the rain comes in and how heavy it is. Because see,
Okay, I just got-
I'm trying to play the devil's advocate here. He probably is
Yes,
thinking
yes.
that if he pits, he's going to be last anyway, right? Because the back was bunched up. We had a safety car just 2 laps back. So oh, that's a lot of cars bunching up. Thankfully, no one collided and
Yeah.
avoided 5-second penalties. So I think what he's thinking is, let me just stick it out on these tires, even though I might lose a position or two, but it will be soon time for inters, and
But
it's better.
I honestly think he runs the risk of terminal damage because
Well,
he's
yeah,
already
if he gets a
he's
puncture,
already-
then that's something
he's-
to be worried about.
It's not only about puncture. It's about the fact that he's already done 7 laps of the 7 laps on these softs. Plus, he's done qualifying 1 lap. That's 8 laps, and his pit window is open right now. And he runs the risk of losing control if it does rain.
Well, let's have a look what happens in the next few laps. We'll get to know soon enough. Ferrari is running nice. Karnav in P6 after getting 12 overtakes
But-
done, or not overtakes, but 12 positions gained for him. VFX in P10, and let's see what happens for the next few races, next few laps rather.
Yeah, but I got
safety car?
message from Utkarsh.
Yeah.
Message from Utkarsh
Yeah.
that Codemasters happened to him. He never knew that cars stalled in this game, and the car just wouldn't move at the entrance of the pit line. So he got disqualified for that. But yeah, serial killer, that was very unfortunate.
Yeah,
and
you can see rain. You can see rain.
it
So
is
rain
raining.
is here. Yeah, it is raining, and
Okay, this might.
safety car is in
okay.
this lap, and it's raining
Shadow
so
Sword-
hard. Yeah, I
Shadow
think people.
Sword is just pulled out 1,000 IQ move.
I told you.
believe.
I told you.
I think he just pulled out 1,000 IQ move because they're not up to racing speed. This is the perfect time to pit. Let's
I
see
think
if
a lot
the
of people
leaders pit.
will be in the pits. I think a lot of people will be in the pits.
But,
It's raining quite
serial-
heavily right
serial
now.
Killer, do you wanna in chat message us what or in Discord message us what happened? We'd love to hear what happened.
Right, safety car in this lap. Let's see what the Williams boys do. It's raining quite heavily, and well, not quite heavily, but it's raining considerably. And
It's raining.
let's see. I don't think they will double stack, so I think one of the Williams will pull into the pits. Who is it? Oh, both of them stay out.
They
Both of them stay out. Does anyone go in? Does
Nobody's
Shadow Sword
going
go
in
in? Yeah, Shadow Sword is not going in either. So maybe it's not raining hard enough for inters right now. In a lap or two, we will see. But we are underway. The track is green and the drivers are free to race. And what's happening behind? Arjun Anusha has already made up a position on Sid Venkatesh, who has lost out. So he is running P16 right now. And up ahead, Notsumi is in P8, and it's one of the closer battles we have on the track right now.
Alright, this is going to get super interesting now because
I think it's inters time.
It's raining.
It's already
It's
inters
raining.
time. Yeah, it's inters
it's
time.
raining and nobody's pit yet. So
Oh, Arjun S. Ravi had a massive tank slapper coming out of that corner, leading onto the main straight. Up ahead, VFix is trying to make a move on Lost Risk, but he's not going to make it. Hushrav is through,
moved up a
and
place.
Arjun S. Ravi has moved up a place as well on Quick Killer. So Arjun S. Ravi making good use of the soft tires. VFX still on the back of Lost Crisp. I don't think he's going to make a place. VFX on the back of Arjun S. Ravi and has to stay back in P13 right now. Let's move our attention to the leaders and see if anyone pits. I think.
I'm keeping an eye on the map and also
Let's see what they do.
yes, Ashwin
Ashwin in the
pit.
pits. Caesar has
Ashwin in
stayed
the
out.
pits. Caesar stayed out. Racing Gupta in the pits.
And he gets a
I
5-second
fact-
for speeding. That's unfortunate for Racing Gupta.
That is. Ooh.
Kanav in the
Vifix.
pits as well. So I think VFX.
Kanav and Vifix in
Both
the
are in the
but
pits. It's double stack for Ferrari.
Vifix. I knew how we did. damn, Vifix doesn't stream, I would have checked. Oh, double stacked Ferrari. Oh, but it actually, he didn't get held too long.
Well, so a lot of people in the pits, all of them on the
Everyone.
mediums.
Everyone is
I
pit.
think
Bar for Caesar, Ishan and Lost Crisp and Sid Venkatesh.
Sid Venkatesh staying out as well on those mediums. Ashwin Lakhwani might just jump Caesar here. Let's see if the likes of Racing Gupta and Phantom can as well, because the track is quite wet right now and Caesar might lose a few positions here because of the conditions right now. And
I am keeping an eye out on him. He does seem in control. I think. Yeah, I think he has reduced his fuel mix so that he gets less wheel spin.
Mm-hmm.
And he is lifting off much more, obviously, to be able to understeer. Yes, he is losing that grip. You can see how much he's understeering, but he's still managing to hit his apex.
Ashwin has already overtaken Sid Venkatesh, by the way.
Yes.
And Racing Gupta has as well.
Caesar, these medium runners have no option but to pit right now. Okay, Caesar has pit, Caesar has pit. Is Ishan pitting? Yes, he is, but he went wide and okay, it's safe. Crisp also lost a position to Ashwin. Ashwin's gonna jump Caesar for sure. Racing Gupta also got lost Crisp, wrongish entry. I think he's gonna get away with that.
So let's see where Caesar comes out.
Sid Venkatesh has pit, so
Caesar is going to lose a lot of positions here. I think he will lose one to Phantom as well. It's going to be close. Yeah, Caesar has lost a position to Phantom.
But it's super close. But I think I think Caesar has the pace to get Phantom and also one lap younger tires, which will definitely come in handy.
Yeah, quite possible. We'll see how that battle unfolds. Natsume meanwhile running in P8 and is on the back of the pole sitter Shadow Sword in P7. So ultimately Shadow Sword does stay in P7. I think that's around where he was before the second safety car came out. 2 safety cars, by the way, in a span of 6 laps. So that's something which we usually don't see in Division 2. Natsume is on the back of Shadow Sword. He might just pull out of his slipstream to make a move. We're riding on board with Hushrav right now. Natsume has to stay back and Hushrav is staying back as well. Let's see if Natsume can get Shadow on the exit. Yeah, that's exactly what might happen. Shadow did not have the best of the exits.
I'm riding on board with Fix as he's trying to chase down Quick Killer. He, coming into the DRS straight, he did have a slight half moment where he nearly oversteered, but he seems to be following Quick Killer pretty well. Lifting off
Vicky and Arjun battling as well, and Vicky is through. Hushrav made a move on Natsume, by the way. Natsume was trying to get a move done on Shadow, but instead ended up losing a position. Up ahead, Kanav and Ishan battling, and Kanav staying front of the Renault driver who pitted 1 lap later than others. But what a line was that from Kanav. I think he went a little deep, and Ishan might have that position. Both of them powering down the main straight, and let's see, this is going to be close, but Kanav ducks back and Ishan has that position. Meanwhile, for the podium positions right now, Caesar, he is chasing down Phantom, and this could be tasty.
Yeah, Vifix is trying to catch Quick Killer, but he is having difficulty. Quick Killer is using more ERS to defend than Vifix is, so it is going to get interesting. And Vifix nearly goes into the back of Quick Killer there, just about managing to keep out of the back of Quick Killer.
Meanwhile, Caesar on Phantom. I think Caesar has the inside line. He tries to unsettle Phantom, but Phantom in rain is much faster than Phantom in the dries. But Caesar has that position, and into the podium position he goes.
Okay, that's nice. This side by side, right? Right now, yeah. Oh, now Caesar got it. Okay.
Hushrav meanwhile is trying to make another move, and Shadow Sword holds it round the outside. Hushrav has to stay behind in P8 for now, but he looks pretty competitive. I think he looks more competitive than he in the rain right now than he was in the dry. And looking at the intensity of the rain, Teves,
Yes,
do you
it's.
think these drivers will be thinking about full wets or not yet?
I think so, but one Jeff and the whole system of switching tires in this game is kind of glitched. So there've been times when I've been on, like, it's been raining like this, and they're like, okay, the dry tires are still the fastest tires on the track, so stay on the dries. So you never know, but let's see. Another lap, 2 laps of this could potentially be, but then again, the intensity might have increased. Shadow Sword has an incident, and
Yeah.
Hosted got past, but I don't know.
That was well held. That was well held by both the drivers. It
that was
could
well
have been a
held, but
crash which ended
It
the
could have
races.
been a disaster.
Yeah, it could have
It
been,
could
but
have been
Hushrav is
disaster.
through. Shadow Sword, in
But
fact, did not have the best of
got-
the exits on the last corner, which is why.
No, and which put him under pressure and have the best entry into that corner because he did get a track limits warning as well.
Right, let's see what happens on the next lap. Says VFix now on the back of Quickiller. VFix not been able to make this move. He has
No,
been behind.
Vifix has been keep maintaining this 3 tenths gap to Quick Killer, but he just cannot find a way past Quick Killer. As I
Not
said,
right.
Quick Killer is using more energy to defend, as you can.
And they
see now
recover
because
the
rain,
energy
like-
faster as well in the rains. You use
Yeah.
that
You use
energy.
more brake.
less-
You use
yeah.
you use more brakes, so you regenerate
Oh,
more of
that's
that.
oh.
Shadow Sword got a 3 second
he-
penalty.
Yeah, he got a tank
for track
slapper.
limits.
Almost lost the car. Vicky, by the way, is up into
Past
P9.
Zoom.
Yeah, he has
Serial
he's passed
killer.
Natsume.
Okay, he was spectating, so I
Yeah,
forgot
he was spectating
DNF.
until now after DNFing. But this is the closest battle right now we have on
Vifix-
track.
Yeah, Vifix did lose a bit of time there, but now he's back on the wing of Quick Killer. But Vifix really needs to, if he really does want to. Do you think Vifix is kicking himself for even trying a last two whatever challenge?
No, I think he just wants to have a bit of fun. I'm watching Vicky right now, and let's see if he's able to make this move right now. Oh, he breaks super late and almost gets the move done. That's a bit of contact.
Oh. There was a I saw that. Oh, and because of that, Shadow Swords lost out to Natsume
Natsume.
as well.
Yeah, Shadow Sword losing 2 positions there, 1 to Vicky, 1 to Natsume. But that was really brave from Vicky. I think he broke
But
a little
I
later than he
think
would
the
have liked.
I think the driver on the move is what's his name? Husraf. He's catching. He's trying to catch Kanav on the straight. Kanav has the speed and he's gone into the distance. But through sector 1, he was actually catching Kanav.
Hushrav is catching Kano, and Phantom, after being overtaken by Caesar, who has closed down the gap on Racing Gupta, is now being caught by Ishan. So Phantom has to be careful if he does not want to lose more positions. Arjun S. Ravi,
and
meanwhile, getting a good exit out of the chicane, and yeah, he has to stay behind for Shadow for now.
Phantom has literally burnt all of his energy off. He has none left.
And
I
VFX
think
has lost a position to Arjun Arun Shah. He was trying to get past Quick Killer, and I did not catch the start of the battle, but VFX has lost a position to the Racing Point. So the last question mark challenge not going so far for VFX right now. His
But
teammate,
I think he still does have more grip compared to Arjun and Quick Killer because they are understeering a lot in those faster turns where he is managing to hold that tighter line. But I honestly think we might see full wets very soon.
yeah, it is definitely a possibility. Ishan and Phantom have swapped places, so Ishan is up to P4. Phantom
Shadow
has,
Sword has got another penalty, I believe.
yeah, he got a 3-second time penalty for track limits, so he has to be careful from now on. Especially in the wets, you won't get a lot of time penalties, so those penalties might hurt him at the end of the race. What's happening
Yeah,
behind?
he's got 6 seconds of penalties, and considering the performance of this grid, he is going to lose out a lot of positions over here.
It is Hushrav meanwhile trying to overtake Phantom, trying to overtake Kanav, but has not worked out so far for the Mercedes driver. But let's see if Hushrav can get it back. Arjun S. Ravi and Arjun Arun Shah were. Sorry, Arjun Arun Shah was trying to catch Quick Killer. Has not happened so far. And Hosrav is still behind Karnov for now. But he has really caught up to Karnov.
Nearly got Karnov there on the inside. But Karnov just parked his car perfectly where Hosrav had to back off. If he didn't back off, he would have gone into the back of that Ferrari and taken possibly both of them out. But Karnov understeered. Hosrav again holding it nice and tight on the racing line. Going a little deep this time to give himself that room to dive down the inside, and he
that's
does
contact.
But it was that contact. Yes, there's contact, pushing Karnov wide. But Husraf has got the position now, and that is something the stewards are going to possibly be looking at.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Ferrari has damage, because that seemed a little bit too close and right where you can get end plate damage. Karnov down in P7 and Arjun Arun Shah meanwhile.
Yes, he does have end plate damage. His right hand side end plate is gone. Karnov has damage.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a pain. Not a little bit, but a lot of pain for Karnov.
That's going to be a lot.
Does he think of pitting now?
I think that's going to be a lot of pain for Karnov, especially considering the conditions, because in the rain you need all the grip. That's all the downforce, all the grip there you can get. In a dry session, you could still get away with a broken end plate.
You think he's going to pit for wets now?
I think he could pull out the crazy. We know Karnov. Karnov does the crazy strategies. He does. He's the one who starts on hards. No matter what, he starts on hards. I hope.
I just got the end of this. Shadow Sword, after losing a place to Arjun S. Ravi, has almost gone into a spin and thankfully has held his car. VFix almost overtook Arjun but has to stay behind. So VFix not been able to make the moves and has to stay back for a few more corners.
I'm just going to stay on board with Karnov to see what he does, because I am
top two pit. Both the Williams pit.
Oh.
Why are they pitting at the same time? I think that's for wets. I'm pretty sure.
It is full wets. Full wets going on. The Williams.
Oh, Vicky gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And this bunch which are fighting carry on. Karnov has not pit.
Karnov has pit.
Oh, has he pit? Okay, that's smart. That's smart.
Wing change and full wets. That is putting him behind. That's giving Vifix a boost. Vifix in the top 10 now. But Vifix was again struggling. Has been struggling on these intermediate tires. He's been able to keep up with all the drivers ahead, but he's not been able to find a way past, and because of that he did lose a position to Arjun as well. So let's see.
Right, so all three of the drivers, Quick Killer, Arjun and VFix, who were in a battle, are staying out. Let's see what Caesar does now. He's on the back of Arjun S. Ravi, and I think on the straight he will overtake the Alfa Romeo driver. Arjun's red light is flashing because of the rain.
The grip. He goes extremely to the extreme left, and he makes the move stick. I'm riding on board with Racing Gupt as what I think he should be pitting now for full wets as well.
Yeah, quite possible the top three will be pitting in for full wets. So let's see how that one develops, and I think the rest of the drivers will be pitting as well.
Okay.
I think it's
Racing Gupt hasn't pit. He is staying on the inters. That is interesting.
Is he thinking of going to the end?
Husraf has pit, I believe.
Ishan has stayed out, I think.
Ishan has stayed out as well. As somebody got a penalty. Vicky got a... not Vicky, somebody else did get a penalty right now.
Arjun S. Ravi for spinning in the pit lane. Oh, that's a late dive by Quick Killer. And he's in the pits. Further behind, what's happening with Natsume and Karnov, who are battling for P13 right now, which will soon turn into the top 10, because you can see a lot of drivers in the pits.
So yeah, Vicky I think has 8 seconds of penalties, because 5 for speeding in the pit lane and then 3 for track limits.
So VFX still staying out on those inters. So is Racing
Suraj,
Gupta.
I think this is a scary situation for anybody at this track. You don't know where the limits of edges of the track are. You can't see the racing line. You can't see the real track. You can't see anything.
Yeah, and especially if
put-
you're
and-
behind a car, that's a lot of spray coming into your eyes as well. So
That is absolutely a lot of spray, and it is hard. And this is not. There are many tracks which is fun to drive in the rain, or in any kind of wet condition. Netherlands, for one, is fun. I had fun in the wet qualifying that we did have, but this track is not a track. This track in Monaco in rain, no, no, thank you. Especially not in this game.
a quick kill on the
Red.
back of Shadow Sword and quick killer on the intermediate style. Shadow Sword on the wets. Quick killer lets him through, but basically does a max on a Bottas or him and lets him go deep into the corner, and quick killer into P13. Shadow Sword, what a race he has had. Starting on the pole, he's down in P14 and might not score any points today as VFix is on the back of Arjun and Usha, so they are still battling and still going on and still not pitting for the wets. I think the likes of
Ishan,
Racing Gupta,
we
Ishan,
missed it, but Ishan has also got a
3 second, yeah,
penalty for
yeah, I saw that on the screen.
Track penalties. But yeah, I don't know what these guys on the Inters are thinking. But
I think
did
they're
Hussav
gambling
pit-
to go to the
did
end.
Hussav picked for a second set of Inters. He did not pick for a second set of Vets.
Oh yeah, I missed that. I'm not entirely sure.
It just hit
Why
me.
that is.
But yeah, he's. I don't know what they know, because we definitely don't know what they know. But yeah, Quick Killer's also on a new set of Inters, not Vets.
Well, my thinking is, see, Racing Gupta has a 5 second time penalty for speeding in the pits. Ashwin, meanwhile, has overtaken Ishan, so he's through. VFix might be able to get Arjun Anusha at the exit of the chicane. He's using a lot of ERS as he can afford to in these conditions, but is staying behind for now. So Racing Gupta is thinking if he pits, he's going to lose positions as well as time, and then because his 5 second time penalty will be added, probably is thinking of going to the end and, well, 8 laps from now.
I think he's definitely just thinking in the long game and just focusing on just stretching these tires as much as is possible, so that if he has, like, he'll only serve that penalty when he absolutely has to pit. I don't think he is losing time to
Oh,
Ashwin.
Oh, he's
Hussav.
DNF'd. And that's probably going to be his third safety car. Oh, it's a third safety car.
But was that contact? Was that
Yeah,
contact
I
with,
saw that was VFX, Phantom and Ushraf battling, and on his debut at a race, VFX in the
Racing
pits.
Gupta into the pits. Racing Gupta into the pits. I don't know if Ishan has gone into the pits. Ishan hasn't gone into the pits.
Ishan has stayed out. Caesar will stay out, obviously. Phantom has stayed out, and
But Vifix is going on to another set of Inters.
well then.
Oh, and it wasn't Racing who's gone into the pits.
Oh,
Sorry,
Phantom
it
has
was
a
Arjun.
drive-through. Phantom has a drive-through that has completely ruined his race. Was running so well.
Arjun was the racing point that. Arjun was the driver who pit for Racing Point, and he went on to a new set of Inters, and as did Vifix. And we're getting word from Jin that Hussav tried dive bombing in the rain. Yeah, that's definitely, if that's the case, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna
Right,
work.
Quick Killer has disconnected Teves. If you can just send him another invite, unless he has spare invites. Let's not entirely sure, but can you send him an invite?
Yes, I am just doing that 1 second. Wait, what do you think these drivers are thinking who are pitting for the second set of Inters rather than?
I think they are more confident that it's not going to be as. I mean, riding on board with these drivers, and I can't even imagine driving on Inters on this track. It definitely is full wet conditions. But surely a lot of drivers disagree with me. You can see Racing Gupta in the pits now, and he's going to serve his 5 second time penalty. Ishan gets a 5 second time penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. So that is not good at all.
See, we talked about this at the start of the race, right? Time penalties at this track are going to come into play very strongly.
Yeah, and Racing Gupta will come out in P3. That's a good pit stop, and I think that's smart from him. He has gone on a set of inters. He's not going on a set of hards. You can see a lot of drivers choosing the inters.
And you can see the amount. You can see the amount of water that's on the track. You can't. Phantom gets a drive-through penalty.
Did he get another drive-through?
I believe he did.
Because I just saw him getting a drive-through.
I'm just checking the incidents, and yes, 2 drive-throughs.
Has got a third drive-through now. Is he trying to get disqualified, Phantom? That's...
Wait, is that a third drive-through?
Yeah.
Phantom, if you're listening, what are you doing? This is not the entertainment we want. Penalty is not fun.
Well, finally we get that helicopter shot, which makes us dizzy as I'm watching Phantom go through sector 1, or rather sector 2 right now, and now on to the long back straight. But all has been happening, Teves. Last race of the season for Division 1, we have finally had rain, and we have had all the tires compound. I think this probably is the only race where we have seen all 5 tire compounds. We have seen the softs, we have seen the mediums, we have seen the hards, we have seen the intermediates, and the full wets now. And
in fact, if you look down at the timing, the chart, the leaderboard, you see the last 5 names all have different tire compounds.
Yeah, they do. And most pit stops is Sid Venkatesh. 5 pit stops. Arjun Shah in P8 has 4 pit stops. Vicky has made 5 pit stops in P10. And wow, what a race we have had so far.
Hey guys, D2 doesn't do as many pit stops and as many safety cars.
Let's see what happens. So the Williams boys are convinced that wet tires are on the right call. I see. Oh, Racing Gupta.
Penalty?
He's in the pits and he's going to lose a lot of positions because I think he's going on a set of wet tires. That's probably where he should have gone on in the first place, and he's going to lose so many positions and is basically thrown away a podium here because of this. He's going to come out in P7, and it's a long way from here to
I don't know what Racing Gupta is doing, because he is our racing engineer. He's D2's racing engineer, and he's pulling.
VFX is in the pits as well, by the way. Arjun Shah in the pits, so both the Racing Points staying out, and VFX had a 5-second time penalty for but collision with Arjun Shah under the safety car. I think now everyone is convinced that this is full wet conditions. So
but yeah, as Nishan says, new moment from Racing Gupta.
Well, I won't be too harsh on him, but yeah, that definitely did not seem the right call to put on inters.
But we have been questioning his intermediate thing for like the last 10 laps.
Yeah, but he might not be listening to us, so let's give him that credit. But he's in P7, not all is lost, and he can see the drive-through for Phantom, which will definitely take him out of contention. Ishan has 6
Phantom
seconds.
has 3 drive-throughs. 3
drive-throughs, so he's basically out of points at this moment. Ishan has...
Does Phantom finish? I bet Phantom's finishing last at this point, even though...
So Ishan has 8 seconds of time penalties, Arjun S. Ravi has 5, and Racing Gupta will not have those penalties, neither does Natsume. So it's basically, as it stands, Natsume and Racing Gupta are going to battle it out for the final podium positions, unless there are some late incidents. Let's see if the safety car is coming in this lap. Arjun Shah has a 3-second time penalty under the safety car.
Yeah,
what's going on here? I've rarely seen time penalties like these under the safety car, where you are extending the track or cutting corners. The safety car is going to stay out for one more lap.
It's more than the safety. I think more than the safety car, it's the conditions of the track. As we've agreed, this is a track where knowing the limits of the track is hard by itself, and you add rain into the mix, recipe for disaster.
Like riding on board with Ishan, Utkarsh has left the session, and yeah, he was disqualified earlier on But even under the safety car where they're not going full speed, look at the spray which is coming from those Williams of Caesar. So you can see it's pretty difficult, and even visibility wise, to drive around this track, especially with a lot of not a lot of reference points on the track, because it's a vast open space. Wow, this is going to be a tough 4 laps, assuming safety car comes in at the end of this lap. Kanav and Quick Killer, the only players, only drivers out on the inters. Yes, please.
Knowing what we know now, what are your predictions for finishing order?
I think it's pretty late in the day to ask for predictions, but yeah, I think I'll go with. I think I'll go with Ashwin, Caesar, and not Sume. That's probably the only logical choice I can make right now.
Okay.
Arjun Arunsa has a 5-second penalty again for collision with VFX. What's going on between these two tonight? Just playing bumper cars. Well, so 15 drivers remain, 13 of whom are on wet tires, full wet tires. Kanav and Quick are the only drivers on inters. And
this is where if we were streaming with a capture card, I would have played. What are we playing? Bumper, like Vettel's clip of bumper cars.
Bumper cars was actually a quote by Max and not Vettel, but yeah, it was.
Did Vettel say it once as well?
No, it was Vettel was ping pong, Max was bumper cars in Silverstone. Yeah.
My mistake.
But safety car is in this lap, finally, and we will see 4 laps of racing in these very, very difficult torrential rain conditions, and let's see how.
Nova, this was your chance to shine, man. I don't know what you're doing. You should have been substitute reserve driver today.
Right, he is hoping for a good battle between Ashwin and Caesar. Finally, it is happening.
Lost Chris.
Arjun Arun Shah, what are you doing? He's having so many incidents right now. Right.
No, but Nova's going to unretire now that Caesar's on sabbatical. Nova's unretiring, right?
That's the first time I've heard that word, unretiring. But let's see what the Williams budget. I think Ashwin has gone and has caught Caesar.
He had a slight oversteer moment. But
what's happening behind?
I think he's got the restart done. I think he's got it.
It's a good restart by Ashwin. Caesar is just 0.7 ahead of Phantom, who is closing in quickly and will be probably challenging him the next few laps. Racing Gupta on the back of Arjun S. Ravi.
You mean Ishan, 0.7 in front of Ishan.
Yeah, I mean Ishan. Shadow Sword, another time penalty.
Another time penalty.
VFX finally VFX is through, and he is on the back of Lost Chris right now.
But honestly, there's very little VFX can do now, because he has 5 seconds of penalties, and the 2 drivers in front of him have no penalties, including his teammate. And let's see, maybe his fresh new full wets will help him, but I think it's been a very bad day at the office for VFX today.
VFX and Quick Killer were battling and they almost came together, but VFX is through, so Ferrari is running 9 and 10. Let's see if there are any team orders into play up ahead. Racing Gupta still on the back of Arjun.
I take that back. VFX on the wets he's definitely coming into his element, and I think he can do something. Like, there's not much he can do now. He has what, 4 laps left with the 5-second penalty, and the gap between 9th and 8th is what, 5, and he's got past Kanav as well. But he is what, 5.3 seconds, 5.4 seconds. Oh,
yeah,
that's
Racing
okay.
Gupta now on the back of Arjun S. Ravi, almost hitting. I hope there is no wing damage there. And let's see with just at least nothing visible
from what I can see.
Arjun S. Ravi on the back.
Arjun.
Yeah,
Arjun has no.
Yeah, Arjun Shah is past Quick Killer now, so that's him into P11, and Quick Killer might lose another position. So the intermediates runners are having a difficult time right now. Caesar is within a second of Ashwin Lakhwani, meanwhile riding on board with Shadow Sword, who doesn't have anything to lose right now after so many penalties, but he's still trying to make up those positions on track and not too much away right now.
And you can see the difficulty he is having with visibility. At least we are having with visibility. So he is having to back off. Like he gets close to Quick Killer, and then he has to back off at the last minute to prevent himself from going into the back of Quick Killer, which is
here is Arjun now, and Kanav has basically let him through. Moved to the left of the track, and Kanav is through. Shadow Sword is through now. So the intermediates runners are losing positions. Up ahead, Racing Gupta. What happened to Arjun Ravi going very wide there and rejoining the track after losing 2 positions? So that's Racing Gupta into P6
and Vicky into P7.
Vicky into P7. When is Phantom actually going to do the drive-through? There's a yellow flag. Sid Venkatesh retired from the session. We'll not be able to see that. Yeah, that's the fast. Not flat out anymore, but that's a right-hander in sector 2.
Oh, Phantom, and as we said that Phantom has
pitted. He has pitted. So that's the first of his 3 drive-throughs.
First of his 3 drive-throughs.
He'll be making.
But he's not going to be able to serve all 3. He's going to get.
He's going to run out of laps before he can serve all 3.
But he is essentially coming out in third last. He's in 12th. By the end, but as we said that Quick Killer and Lost Crisp are fighting for position. Quick Killer on the inters and Lost Crisp on the full wets. Caesar's cut the gap down to 8/10 of a second.
And it's quickly coming down, so we might see a last lap showdown between the Williams boys. Shadow Sword meanwhile on the back of Kanav, who is struggling on those intermediate tires, and look at him, Scar is going so wide, not able to put the power down quickly. And let's see if Kanav will let him through as well, like he did with Arjun Arun Shah. The gap ahead, 0.6 seconds. So Caesar is really pushing right now, and he really wants to sign off with a win here. Let's see what happens. Phantom gets a 3-second time penalty for probably corner cutting.
Track limits, yep. Penalties. Oh, stops.
Oh, Shadow Sword is losing and he's DNF'd. I caught the end of it. That's real unfortunate. Ooh. And yeah, that's race over for our pole sitter. Yeah, there won't be any
safety car for that.
Yeah, there won't be any safety car for that since we are already on the last lap, and Caesar is within 0.7. I think Ashwin should just make it through as Arun Shah in the pits, or rather Kanav in the pits and is retired in the pits, so he doesn't see any point of going on. But let's see what the Williams boys are gonna do now, because
Phantom is not even serving his last. Phantom is. Oh, he nearly DNF'd.
Caesar meanwhile 3-second time penalty, and
a yellow flag. Oh, that's for Kanav retiring. But okay.
So this basically means that Ashwin is going to win. Final podium position will probably go to Natsume. Racing Gupta will not be able to challenge him, at least in the next corner. And Natsume, that's a good race from him. The division. Racing Gupta gets a 5 penalty as well. That's 3-second time penalty.
Basically, what happened to what happened to me happened to Racing Gupta last lap.
Yeah, and PSI brings a very good point. Everyone is going to get points because only 12 finishers in this race. So here we go. It's going to be Williams 1-2 because of time penalties. But Ashwin Lakhwani for his 2nd win in the season, and it's 9 out of 10 wins for Williams this season. It has been an absolutely dominating season for the Williams drivers. Ashwin Lakhwani weaves across the line, wins the French Grand Prix. Caesar DNFs, and yeah, that's just Caesar.
DNF, but
that's just Caesar. Yeah, Ishan is finishing P3, but he will not. I think Sume might just take it. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Sume gets the position.
Just by a margin. Racing Gupta finishes P5. Vicky in P6. Arjun S. Ravi in P7. VFX across the lines. It's a last to 8 challenge for him. P8 for VFX Arjun Arun
Yeah.
P9 quick killer. Staying out on those intermediate tires. Had a very eventful race. Will finish P10. I'm not sure if Lost Crisp is going to get a position. No, he does not. So Lost Crisp finishes P11. And Phantom. I don't know what he was doing under the safety car, but so many drive-throughs. Three
Okay.
drive-throughs. I've never seen
But
that happen.
I want to give Vicky a trophy for 5 stops and finishing sixth. 5 stops and finishing sixth. That is
Oh, look at
that's
what
going to be some
Phantom
kind
is
of
doing. He's just doing donuts. It's the last race of the season. He's just having fun right now, Phantom. What a man. Right, so while we wait for Phantom across the finish line, teams, if we can get our podium getters,
Yep.
that is Ashwin, Caesar, and not so. I'm losing it. If you see Phantom right now, he's reversing to the final line. I'm really going to enjoy this one. Wow. So he's reversing to the line and he's going to do some more donuts. Wow, I don't think I've laughed this much ever while commentating on a live stream. But Phantom finally across the line. Is he going to make it? Yeah, he does. And finishes in style. He's going to get a point for that. For all of that, he's going to get a point. Teams.
Yes,
Driver of the day
I
is
said-
Vicky. I'm not entirely sure where he started, but Caesar says GG teammate, and let's get them in, Teams.
Yeah, I have invited them. I'm just doing the last
Right.
one.
So that's Ashwin Lakhwani on the top step of the podium again. I think this is only the second 1-2 we have seen from the Williams boys this season, but they have won the championship, which is the Constructors' Championship. Caesar signs off not with a win, but with a podium in a very strong race. He finishes behind his teammate. I don't think he'll be unhappy about that. Natsume rounds out the podium, which is a very strong race from the Division 2 driver, and also Division 2 Constructors Champion Ishan in the other Renault finishes P4. Racing Gupta in P5, Vicky in P6, Arjun S. Ravi P7, VFX started from the back of the grid P8, Arjun Arun Shah in P9, Quick Killer the Division 2 reserve in P10, Lost Crisp on his debut race does score 2 points in P11, Phantom in P12. Those are the finishers. Your non-finishers are Kanav, who retired in the pit lane in P13. Shadow Sword unlucky for him after starting on pole, not able to finish the race. Sid Venkatesh lost out as well in P15. Hushrao on his IRL debut, not a debut to remember in France. Serial Killer, Utkarsh and PSI Legends also not making it to the end of the race.
But
So-
also Shadow Sword and Sid Venkatesh and Kanav do classify as finishing the race because they did finish, what, 75%, 90% of the race, so they still do.
Right, so we have our race winner in. We also have our P3 in. We'll wait for Caesar, but teams, maybe you can start off with Natsume for this one.
Yeah, congratulations on that. That was a good race, and just walk us through what went through what was your strategy and how that worked for you and all of that.
So I went for the mediums to hards, and originally that's what I planned. And qualifying went, I would say, average. Turn one, someone we made contact, and I went down to P18. And luckily there were 3 safety cars, and worked in my favor. And yeah, I'm really happy. First D1 race, and I ended up on the podium. So just really happy, and that's it.
Yeah, that was considering the changing conditions. What were your thoughts when you saw the weather and the changing conditions and all of that? Like, walk us through.
I was originally scared because my setup doesn't really perform well in the rain, so I thought I would really struggle, but I was managing fine, and yeah. I
So
don't know
you
how.
so you did go. So you went for a more dry setup for the race.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Malav, you want to ask anything?
Yeah, just one thing, Natsume, about the conditions. I just want to get your thoughts in because we see, especially in the middle of the race, we saw some drivers choosing the intermediate, some drivers choosing the hard. So, what was your strategy? I think you chose the full wet tires, if I'm not wrong. Was there ever a doubt after you switched to the wets that you might want to go back to inters, or you wanted to finish the race on the wets?
So when the rain started, I was on intermediates, and
Yeah.
as the rain, started progressing, it got heavier. I went on to wets, and I was sure that the wets would last to the end because there were barely 12 laps remaining, and
Hmm.
luckily there was a safety car. So in the last 5 to 10 laps, I think. So because of that, I ended up P3, and yeah, overall the strategy was really good, and yeah, it's a really good race.
Right. Congratulations once again. You should be comfortable with these podium interviews now because you have a habit of
Yeah,
finally getting on the podium, winning the last two races in
it's my
Division Two,
fifth.
and yeah, fifth podium in
But first
very few
podium, first
weekends.
race for Division One, first podium for Division One.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. That was a
Thank
really
you
good
so
race.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations, Sume, once again. Moving to Caesar, first of all, thank you for somehow ensuring that we get some wet weather. So
This is
that's
the
something.
this is the
Prayers have been
committee at work.
answered.
This is the committee at work. This is the committee at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
Finally,
look
we
at
are
it from
thankful for the
dry to
committee.
winters to wets. I mean,
Yeah,
couldn't
we
get
actually
any
saw
better.
all the five tire compounds being run in the race. But talk us through your race, your qualifying as well, because I think you qualified on mediums. And was it surprising to see a couple of drivers start ahead of you? I think you maintained your position at the start, but in same question because I saw a pit stop as well where both of you and Ashwin went into the pit. So was that a miscommunication or it was a conscious call to double stack even when it was not under the safety car?
I'm sorry, I did not get. I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll just repeat.
I was reading something. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's okay. That's okay.
I
So
just-
what I'm trying to ask is
Yeah.
your qualifying. You while you maintain your
Yeah,
position, but yeah, yeah, while you
So,
maintain
yeah,
your position, but were you surprised to see a couple of drivers ahead of you because you started P4 where you generally don't start, and then in the race, was it a conscious call to double stack under green flag conditions?
yeah, so I mean, the strategy was to qualify on the mediums after checking the weather that rain was going to come. So it was decided between me and Ashwin that we'll be putting a lap on the mediums and see how that goes and where it will put up towards the end. So, and luckily, I had a pretty decent laps on the mediums, and I think I qualified P4 or P5. I can't even remember now. So I think that
P4.
that helped a bit. Yeah, P4. So that helped, obviously, and yeah, majority of the drivers had the same idea. So guys like Ashwin Racing Group, Hashrav, all these guys, had the same strategy. So being the fastest or the leading medium runner helped, and of course, I knew that after 4 to 5 laps, after watching yesterday's race, I knew that their tires will run out. But before that stage, safety car came out, a couple of them, and the race was pretty much neutralized. And once everyone pitted in, that really just put the race in the medium runners' favor. Not so much. Jeff did mess up the race for me. He somehow gave the message to Ashwin to pit in for wets and not to me. So that's why I stayed extra lap, and they just costed the lead, and it's pretty difficult to overtake in the wets on any track, especially France. So Ashwin, I think, ran a pretty decent race. So congratulations, overall good race for Williams. I did try towards the end to get the lead back, but he was too quick, and it is what it is. But 1-2 in the end, I think that's what matters. So GG,
But
well done to
on
Sumer
the
as well
Yeah, sorry.
for finishing on the podium as a reserve. So yeah, that explains where the form all of a sudden came up. In Division 2, he's winning races now. So yeah, Division 1, he's pretty comfortable with by the looks of it.
Promotion incoming. But question I had was you actually had a very good start on the mediums, and you were side by side with Utkarsh into turn one. You backed off. Was that you thinking about the bigger picture, the longer run, or what was going through your head then?
Yeah, it was more of looking ahead at the race because Utkarsh was on the soft, so there was no point fighting him through the corners because he definitely had the superior grip at the start. So, and I knew that the stint will run off in a few laps time. So it was more of a strategic call, and that paid off in the end. So.
And were you surprised, like when you guys pitted for the wets, there were a few drivers who stayed out and actually did pit, but stayed on the inters. Were you surprised by that, or?
I was surprised by Racing Goops extending his interstint, and I mean, I thought the safety car worked in his favor once the third safety car came out. But fortunately, I was able to overtake him in the pits. I think I was even more surprised when I saw him on the inters once again, because the weather kept deteriorating after the safety car as well. So, I don't know if it was his decision or the game just messed it up for him. But whatever it is, him going to the inters and with Ishan and Phantom with the penalties and drive-throughs, I think that really helped our case to really push at the safety car restarted and hopefully ensure at that point that we get a 1-2 irrespective of the order.
Yeah. Malav, I don't know if this is a new record, but is this the most number of pit stops in a race? 5 pit stops?
It could be, but there's something else which I want to just say to Caesar. I don't know if you realize, but you have crossed 1200 points now in the league.
What have I? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the next best?
I think the next best is Ashwin, something around 800, if I'm not wrong.
Has to be Ashwin.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
he's a champion.
pretty sure he is. But that's something which is going to stay for a long while. That record of most points. Ashwin is
Hopefully.
at. Oh no, it's V6 rather. My bad. With 838 before this race. But
where is my table? I need to bang on it.
right, but yeah, 9 race wins out of 10. That just shows how unfairly strong a team you were with Ashwin. Coming to whom, Ashwin, finally a race win after long. I think Belgium was the last race which you won in the middle of the season.
Yes.
Starting P8,
Yes.
that too. It was a little surprising to see you. I know you were on the mediums, but still that pace was a little surprising, rather the lack of pace. So walk us through your qualifying and the race.
Quali was pretty straightforward. I mean, first I looked for the conditions, and I think in my head I'd mapped out the race being medium, inter, and then wet, and that's how it went. But yeah, my medium run, I should have gone for 2 laps, but I didn't leave myself enough time. And on the first run, I felt I was just about to invalidate at turn 4, and so I just thought I'd slow down, and I lost 3.5 tenths there. But yeah, it was just a messy lap, so I should have ideally started a bit further up on the grid, but I think, yeah, looking back, it didn't really make much of a difference after that first couple of safety cars.
Right, and
No, so
about the
talking
race,
about your
how was?
qualifying lap.
Yeah, go on,
Sorry.
please.
Continuing
go on,
about your
please.
qualifying lap. I think on your fastest lap you weren't using ERS. Was that a conscious choice or was that a mistake?
So on my first 2 laps, I put 2 laps on softs, and I knew I didn't want those laps to count because I wanted to start in the mediums, so I just used max fuel and no ERS for both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Malav, you had a question about the race.
Yeah, about the race, starting P8, I'm sure you probably saw podium insights because of your strategy. But same question in terms of conditions. I'm sure you and Caesar were in a party chat. But did you think that I mean it was worth going on the inters, especially in the third safety car? Do you think that was probably too risky, or you wanted to stick it out on the wet tires, which did seem like the optimal tire strategy in terms of conditions?
I mean, yeah, the conditions to me were pretty clear. Like in the end, even with that last safety car, the conditions were still really, really bad. So I think inters would have been the wrong choice, and it was. So I was more comfortable just staying out on my wets and finishing the race that way.
Right, strong finish for both of you in the season, especially you, Ashwin, with a race win. Finally giving us the battle which we wanted with Caesar, although it was just for 3 laps. But that's something which Noah was calling for, that we want an epic battle between Caesar and Ashwin. We finally get to see that in the season finale. But Teeves, unless you have any further questions, I think we can wrap up.
I think my only question for Ashwin is how excited are you for the next season, on the next game?
I am pretty excited. I just want to get rid of this game and all the bad luck it's brought me. So
He's already got rid of his teammate.
I know. I was just going to say teammates gone, so no competition from teammates. So
Oh god.
so
That's why
yeah.
he's looking forward. Bahar chalo, Caesar.
Hello, Caesar.
But yeah, GG's good season again. Caesar, thank you for putting the show on, and we'll come back stronger soon. I guess.
Right, so that's it
Yep.
from the comms box this weekend. Unless there's anything else, we can probably wrap up for tonight. Congratulations once again to Notsumi, Caesar, as well as Ashwin. It has been a great season in terms of the championship, both the drivers and constructors championship, where I think sealed a race or two back, but still pretty exciting this season. Finally, we get to see a wet race in France, so I have to thank Codemasters for that. Almost after 10 weeks of racing, we finally get to see those intermediates and wet tires. But yeah, this has been You Can Beat Me. Thank you, teams, for joining me alongside. We still have, by the way, the
Thank you for
Division
having
2 race in Hungary, which is the season finale because of an earlier glitch which Codemasters presented us with. So that's something to look forward to next weekend on Friday, 9:45. And while the Constructors' Championship is decided, the drivers is yet to be fought for, just 9 points between Herschel and Azun at the top. So do tune in for that one. But that's it from the Comms Box this weekend. Hope you enjoyed this coverage. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't. Help us to our journey of 100 subscribers. And that's it. Yeah, good night and goodbye.